Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine. Welcome to John's Tarot. Welcome to you from wherever in the world you might be. Welcome to you from Pennsylvania.
You are talking to a man who has laughed in the face of death, sneered at doom, and chuckled at catastrophe.
Welcome to you from Florida.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Welcome to you from Georgia.
Try to relax. This will feel a little weird.
Welcome to you from New York.
This is all your fault, you.
Welcome to you from Ontario, Canada.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
And welcome to you from France.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. I hope you all had a good week. I had a pretty good week. I had to work a whole lot this week, so it was a pretty good week. I wanted to get a little early business out of the way, a little housekeeping out of the way. If you would like me to mention your city in the intro, go ahead and drop me a note there either on YouTube or send me an email from my webpage. I'm at john@johnstarot.net, and I'll mention your city. Also, if you would like to be a guest on John's Tarot, again, send me, contact me, and you don't have to be a world famous celebrity. My guy today is just an average guy. Just be an average human being with something to talk about. I like to do things about paranormal, UFOs, UFO experiences, New Age, anything interesting like that. Anything interesting and unusual. That's what I like. So if you want to be a guest, contact me and we'll set it up. And it's not hard to do. Again, I have this program called StreamYard, and I send you a link, and we just do it online at your convenience. So that's what we can do. If you would like a personal reading, I can do personal readings, individual readings. I know that Marianne from that tarot program she doesn't do personal readings, but right now I'm open to doing personal readings. Contact me. We'll make an appointment with me. We'll set up a time and we'll take care of it. Oh, I forget the name of her program, but she really does good political commentary on tarot readings, and she is quite the psychic. And then if you would like general readings, what I mean by general readings are questions you want me to ask the tarot regarding what's going on in our society, regarding what can we expect in the next couple of months. Again, submit those and submit me those questions. Either email them to me or drop me a note there on YouTube, and we'll take care of it. And we will submit it to the tarot the next week. Today, we're going to take a little trip into the paranormal. I interviewed Kyle B. from Hammilton, Ontario. Kyle is having some paranormal experiences in his home. Him and his wife have been dealing with, and I did a little interview with him. Haunting experiences. So today we talk a little bit about the paranormal. We talk a little bit about ghosts. I share a little bit about my experience with spirits and ghosts. Do they really exist? Is there evidence? And on today's program, I offer a little bit of evidence. I have some photos that I have collected from my own experience, and then I also have some personal experiences. So we talk a little bit about the paranormal. If you are a ghost hunter or belong to a ghost hunting society or a ghost hunting group, heck, I would love to interview you or go along on a ghost hunt with you. That would be absolutely fascinating for me. Contact me if you're involved with that. So let's get right into our interview, though, with Kyle. Great. Well, today on John's Tarot, I'm going to bring you Kyle B. from Hamilton, Ontario. I've been looking forward to do a interview on the paranormal and people who have had paranormal experiences. And Kyle graciously contacted me and allowed himself to be interviewed today. And I'd like to introduce Kyle. Hi, Kyle. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Born and raised in Hamilton, Ontario, barely ever left. Um, I work and live a very normal, mundane life. I guess my extracurricular that I guess would make me shine out is my wife's family. Being from Cambodia, we do go over there quite a bit and do our work over there and make sure that everybody's all sound and happy. And yeah, having a great time doing that.
Oh, good. So I understand you had a paranormal experience, a haunting. Why don't you
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about about what happened?
Well, last summer, I have had an estranged relationship with a close family member for many years. And last summer, I got told at work that they were close to passing. And right now is like, if you wanted some time to say something while they're unconscious and can't say anything back, please take this shot now.
Sure, I understand that. I'm an ICU nurse. I see a lot of that.
Yeah, I imagine, and I decided to forego and just let sleeping dogs lie because I didn't want to cause more harm than yeah, it was a complicated situation. But just about 1 week after the passing, and I remember hearing that's about a timeline that some people gave. The electrical in my house started going bonkers. It was just one day, the room I'm sitting in right now, the lights started flashing when we had just a year before had updated all the electrical in here because we knew that there was a mix of copper and nickel and can't have that. So we did update. The printer was doing its maintenance just at that moment too. It was like every room in the house was going nuts. I kept it to myself. But then my wife started reporting the same thing. Flash, all the lights are going crazy. So from her culture, we had lit 3 incense sticks, and she had said her words that I don't understand quite yet, and it all stopped right after that moment. But then, as of just last weekend, my niece and I were looking at one of those apps that are spirit boxes and it just display random words that keep on popping up. And this spirit box, this family member had died of stomach cancer, and those are the only words coming through this spirit box: stomach, hospital, pain, horror, cancer, stomach over and over again. Like I had to shut it off because I'm like, oh geez, is it on the way back? You know.
Wow, wow, that's an intense story. Is this still going on with you guys?
That was last weekend. So this is
Wow.
like fresh latest update. Last weekend it came through the app on the phone. So I do keep in the back of my mind. What if this it's coming through radio and songs, other flashing lights, just keeping my eyes open to that kind of thing. But it doesn't. I keep it pretty light, like it doesn't interrupt my day, kind of. Yeah.
And so this intrudes on your home. Do you think this family member is obviously trying to? So you didn't want to finish your business with them. Obviously, they wanted to
Mhm.
finish their business with you, though.
Yeah. Like I said, it was complicated, and because all those things in the background, you mentioned in your posting tarot cards and things of that, and just somewhere to discuss it because I have
Yeah.
kept this quiet within my wife and I have discussed it, but other than that, we haven't really told anybody because
Hi-
yeah,
highly unusual for it to come to your home. This is like an intelligence.
yeah, Yeah. Well,
You,
I guess for full disclosure, it was my mother.
okay.
So yeah, and yeah, and the in between, it just kind of came to me. I remember when the lights were flashing, and I was in this office. The corner of my eye, seeing the person kind of there. So it was those experiences that just kind of made me like change my mind a little bit, kind of go, huh. So maybe here's a platform. Let's see what you got to say.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. I lived in a haunted house once, a house with a haunting.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to hear this experience. It's about
I do.
35. Okay, it was about 35 years ago, and it was a place down in San Clemente, uh, founded by the guy who founded this town. I don't want to go into it too much because it's still an operating business. So they rented me a place with the understanding that I would do some groundskeeping. I said, okay. So then the lady who was running the place at that time comes to me and says, "Yeah, the last guy we had doing this, he was in the paint room. There was a kind of a below building room for storage for paint and tools and stuff." She said, and somebody came down and touched him on the shoulder, and he freaked out and ran away and never came back. And I'm like, get out, get out. There's no such thing.
Right.
Well, a couple of weeks later, I'm on the patio of this place looking at the ocean, and I hear footsteps. It was a tile patio, and I hear footsteps on the tile patio, like if somebody came up behind you. If somebody came up behind you right now, you would know it. You would sense it.
Yeah.
And that was the experience. And I look, and there was nothing there. Wow, so get out of here. And then it happened again. The same exact thing happened again, and it came up behind me, and I got mad. I said, "Don't you ever do that to me again." Don't you dare ever do that to me again. And then after that, I had experiences where there was cold spots in that building. I would experience
Mm.
cold spots, and I sometimes I was a little different. I was still getting loaded during that period of my life, and I'd come into the main building at night, and I'd check the doors, and they were locked, and then I would check them again, and they were unlocked. So doors were locked and unlocked. And I said, "What the heck is going on?" And then I had this cat. One time I had this cat, Whitey the cat, and
Okay.
there was a room there called the library, and I went in there late at night just to look at the ocean, and Whitey the cat followed me in. Well, next morning I couldn't find the cat. I figured, it's stuck in the house. So I go back into the main house, and I found the cat, and it's shivering in a corner. So
Mm.
I picked the cat up, and there was a big ballroom area, and I walked through the ballroom out of the library, and then there was a door that slammed, kabang! I go, you don't like cats in the house, huh? So that, and I could just tell there was a presence there that would follow me around and try to get my attention, and that was my experience. But I wasn't frightened by it. It was just unnerving because you couldn't identify it.
Yeah, and like what is that allows us to feel like something is there, but we can't see it, but we know it.
I don't know. I sometimes feel like these ghosts can imprint on our subconscious or on our conscious. It's not really something you could document. Although I do have some documented pictures of ghosts, if you'd like to see them.
I most certainly would. Yes.
This first picture I'll show you is from during COVID in a hospital,
Okay.
and whoops, and there you see some guys there in the hospital. And if you look up in the corner, up, I guess it would be the right-hand corner, the black guy,
Yeah.
there's a, and we're going to, can you see the face right behind him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't explain it, but there it is. And,
Yeah.
and, and here's another one. I did a ceremony in South America
Okay.
in the Peruvian Amazon, about 13, 14 years ago, probably closer to 15 years ago. And during the ceremony, I had somebody kind of watching over, making sure everything was all right, and take some pictures. Now we are in the I'm in the Peruvian Amazon at a compound, and there are no roads. The only way to this place was by riverboat.
Hmm.
We're going to do this ceremony with a local shaman. I got involved with a local shaman. I'm kind of spiritually motivated and interested in different things, and we do this ceremony. And this is on uh, the the picture is in the back of the ceremonial hut between the ground and the forest, which is right behind us. Now tell
Okay.
me if you tell me if you could see this. And I'm engaged in this ceremony. I don't know what's going on. This is just a picture at the stage. Whoops, at the stage. There it is. Can you see it?
Kind. I see a white line down the
See the
middle.
white line, and
Yeah.
then right up on the top there, you'll see a face, kind of an
Oh
African
yeah.
face. You see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm telling you, the only thing back there was rainforest. There was no lights, there was no people,
Huh.
and and I can't explain it. I'm just to say that that's what it was. Now we're gonna
No,
remove that.
would that ceremony kind of bring that out, bring
Oh
that
yeah,
face out?
oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That ceremony would definitely bring forth spirits. So I tend to believe the story you're telling me. Things like this exist. You're not. This is not your imagination. My experience has told me that these things exist just because our society tells us no, that doesn't exist. These things have been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
How come the stories persist for thousands of years? Our society tells us these things don't exist, but the reality seems to be much different.
Yeah. Just death in general, I think we treat very wrong in our society. Like it I'm sure you can see within your line of work, it is incredibly easy and incredibly hard to die at the exact same time.
I,
If you really want to, you can go off the deep end and not quite get there and still truck on. And people seem to just not pass away from mistreating themselves. And then there's a lot of accidents where it's absolutely tragic. So
I,
we don't. I don't feel like we address it as much as we should.
now is this haunting something? I'm going to say it's a haunting because
Mhm.
you've had phenomena there in the house. Is the phenomena continuing? This is relatively new experience for you guys. The lights and stuff like that.
Since the my wife did the ceremony, the small ceremony in this room, it has stayed away. But the spirit box brought it back just in that one app, and then I have since shut off the app because I want to keep that door closed.
I was wondering if you're continuing to have problems. How about you guys had any strange dreams or any other experiences there in the house?
I can't remember my dreams, but I still continue to fight in my sleep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Many times this phenomena also, when it manifests, you'll get some strange smells. Have you had any experiences like that? Like this is the perfume smells like my mom in here.
Yeah. No, I can't say with honesty, I can't say that I've had any smells.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, that gets something to keep an eye out for. When my father passed away,
mhm.
I was back in his home back in Indiana, and he had passed away. And
Oh,
Dad and I never got along anyway. I was not his favorite, but I was there to fulfill my obligation as a son. And he had passed away, and I have a dream. And in the dream, it's my father. I'm still in his home, and he says to me, he says, "Why did you sell my house?" I guess, and I go, why don't you go bother Jerome? Leave me alone. And he went away, never came back. So they appear in dreams. My wife has had experiences where her father appeared to her in dreams.
yeah, wow. And it seems that just like a quick affirmation seems to dispel it. Like the more fear and the more giving in, and oh my God, then it kind of ramps up a little bit. I feel like my attitude has kept it at bay. And like you were saying, like go bother somebody else, and then they.
Well, in your situation, I like the idea of burning incense. That's always helpful. And
Yeah,
maybe say a little, and maybe say, your mother is obviously troubled. Why don't you say a little prayer for her?
yeah,
And, hey, help poor mom out. However you phrase that. I'm very casual in my prayers. I'm like, yeah. And while we're here, I wanted to talk to you about something. You know,
yeah. Yeah,
and,
that was my ending part. The wife said her thing, and more in my head, my own prayer was like, you can like visit, but have some grace and tact.
oh, that was nice of you. You know,
Y-
you could visit. I bet nicer than I was, but go
Yeah,
bother Jerome.
yeah. Well, I'm not hiding it. Like I'm. If you want to come peer into what my life is doing, uh, we're happy people just doing what we do.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I would very much like for you to see what we're doing. But at the same time, I do like my privacy in my house and to live as I do, and I want a boundary.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Boundaries. That's the key word here. Boundaries.
Yep.
That you cannot interfere in our lives, and that will be tolerated. I'm glad to hear that phenomena has not it made itself known, but it doesn't sound like it's becoming uh, problemsome. It's not making you contacted it with the app, but it's not interfering in your lives. It made itself
Mhm.
known. It made itself known, and that it has issues, and say a little prayer for it. Burn your incense. Do what your wife has suggested. I think it should resolve for you. But these
Yeah.
things do. I think these things do exist. You're not going crazy.
Now, because you have experience yourself with a parent passing, did you know before it happened?
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes. Did I know he was? I was with him when he passed away.
Oh, okay. So it was a little more obvious.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of things I learned as we're on the topic during that experience that I bring forth in my nursing work. That is, I was not his favorite, but I was there with him, like I said, fulfilling my obligation as a son. And when he passed away, then I didn't carry with me any of the things that, oh, I wish of, I should have, I could have, if only.
Mhm.
Okay, there was some a little bit of sadness, but for me, it was resolved. And when I work with people in my job, I try to get them to be a part of their loved ones passing, because if you just have one person there who cares for you, cares enough to be there at that moment of your passing, that knowledge is all you get to take with you into the next, whatever comes next. The
Mm.
knowledge that you had one person who cares. So in your prayers, I would suggest you say, try to resolve this issue and say, you know what, I want you to be okay, and I forgive you. If you could do that, I don't know how deep the wound was. You might have to work towards a resolution of that, because sometimes we can have really serious problems that need to be resolved between our loved ones and ourselves. That and you have an opportunity to resolve it after you pass away. I always say in my things with nursing that I create karma, right?
Mm.
And things that I do and the things that I say, because I'm in the physical world, I can create karma, and you have the opportunity. You're in the physical world to create some positive karma. You can work through it after you pass on. There's no physicality. You're spirit, but there's nothing there to create karma.
Right.
But
Right.
you have a go ahead.
Oh, and to be that's with I've always had that in mind. Of that's why I'm taking the path I am with doing the work I do in Cambodia, because uh, there is karma wealth more than financial wealth. and going into the next life. And um, I just kind of believe it. You know, I kind of, I just there's something in my bones that just kind of knows that it's true.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so too. That's how I feel about it. Do you have any questions? No, I don't. Not that I'm an expert, and in fact,
Yes.
go ahead.
Um, so in your years of looking into this, what's you've shown me some pictures. You've mentioned the Amazon. Do you have any other instances that kind of jump out at you?
No, those were like my three main instances that where it's like, yeah, this is real.
Yeah,
But I would like if there's anybody out there who is a paranormal investigator, please contact me. I'd love to interview you. And
yeah. Because I have my story, my most recent story. Uh, Now in your in your going down to Peru, that experience. What kind of ceremony was that, and what was the purpose of the ceremony?
well, I'd rather not get into that too much depth.
Okay,
I still hold a professional license, but I'll be glad to talk to you more about it off camera.
sure. Nope, I totally get that. I personally hold a like an interest in Peru because of the news of what they have found there recently with their mummies. Now, is
Yeah.
this something you're aware of?
No, a little bit. I'll catch a little bit about of it on the internet. I've also done some readings for people, tarot readings for people,
Hmm.
And they wanted to talk to their deceased loved ones. And at first, I was going, "Well, I never tried. Let's give it a try, see what happens." And I was shocked. The stuff that came out, their loved one expressed ideas that were familiar to the individual, and uh, and their loved ones talked about uh, issues, unresolved issues, and saying not to worry about it, and that it that the things that happened between them were they were accepting responsibility for things that happened within them, and not to worry. And I was like really shocked. And another one I did, it really described the whole death process. There's a guy
Wow.
worried about his father, and it was just like the stuff you would read about in near death experiences, where there's a period uh, of resolution or your review, your life review, and there was a period of greeting past loved ones, and then there was a period of you're kind of blended with the universe, and you're looking at your future plans. What are you going to do on the next incarnation? And that was what the reading says, and I was really surprised by those things. So yeah,
Wow.
I've done those types of things, and it's been interesting. Is it true? It's a tarot cards. I can't say this is proof positive, but this is the information I got. I have a little bit of psychic ability. I inherited from my mother. I wish I inherited
Mhm.
money instead, but that's what I got.
N- now I'm very interested in this death process. How could you explain as much as you know about the process of the time of, and because I'm kind of um, unknowledgeable on that.
As far as I know from the readings I've done about near
Mhm.
death experiences and the stuff I've done, sometimes you'll pass away and spirit or consciousness, because there's an energy within us. They call it a soul that I believe exists beyond this life. And that is the energy that is recycled by the universe. The universe doesn't waste anything. It's going to recycle that energy, that consciousness. So you die, that consciousness kind of raises up, and many times it'll see itself, and you'll see yourself lying there in the bed, like, what am I doing laying there? Why are these people crying?
Mhm.
Well, these from near death experiences. And then there's usually, you go to the light. Sometimes the spirit will be confused, like, you know, there was that period when you die and a period before you're ready to let go, and there's some confusion. I have I have unfinished business with Kyle. I need to get a hold of Kyle. And you had that experience. And then the spirit, for lack of a better term, will pass on to whatever that next dimension is, and where you start going through the life review and meeting with relatives who have passed away, and
Mm.
and considering what you might do during your next incarnation. I tend to believe in reincarnation. Can I prove any of this? No. No, I
Oh
do
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
No, but this is what I tend to believe. What I read about and a little bit of my experience. I have fooled around with doing tarot card readings on. I'm looking to see how much time we're running into on people who passed away, and I forget one. I even did one. There was this gal. She ran away with a prisoner out of some jail in Kentucky, and it's about 2 3 years ago, and the guy, they finally caught up with him, and they rolled the car, and she died in the
Oh.
accident, or she shot herself. So I said, what's going on with her? And I tried to contact her, and I did a program on that, and that came through really clear.
Oh.
Had really clear. And about she had done well in her career, and she regretted what the things that have happened, and she's going to try to do better next time. And it was that type of thing that came across. One time I go, well, just for fun, let's try to see if I can get George Custer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And that came through pretty good. And Custer was really he was disappointed. Now, I don't know if this stuff is true. This is my interpretation. He felt that he did everything he could to do things the Army way, and though he regretted the loss of his command and all the people in his command, he felt that the Army had hamstrung him and prevented him from using the natural Custer charm, and and he was really felt angered and kind of that he was treated unfairly. I was like,
Mm.
okay, well, it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What is true or not, I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time doing that, but yeah, that kind of stuff comes through sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I get a lot of the Buddhism influence naturally from my family, and the one teaching I heard about the Bardo has been kind of tough for me to take, but uh, I I've internalized it. Have you heard what the Bardo is supposed to be?
No, I've never heard of that. I used to practice Buddhism, but tell me.
It When you were ready to reincarnate into your next life, and you've done all of your period of thinking and you're assessing, the Bardo is a plane where every human on Earth is in their moment of copulation, and only one couple will catch your eye for a moment, and that's where you're going to be born. Those are your parents, because there's something about those two people that will give you um, the kind of soul you're looking for in that life.
Mm. You may have some karma to work through from a past life, and
Yeah.
this is going to
It,
give you that opportunity.
this is the opportunity. Those two people right there, and I like the way they look. That will be my mom and dad. I that was hard to take, but it has caused a lot of thought of, well, maybe I do need to live this life that I'm living, and it's not so bad because my soul wants it.
We are all, and I'm going to go off into this discussion of karma. We're all born with certain karma we need to resolve in this lifetime, and
Hmm.
that's part of our job. You have certain challenges unique to your life that you've had to work through or are working through, and nothing is a mistake, and that is part of what our job is in this life, is to work through those old issues and resolve them. uh, Somehow that worked out with me with chemical dependency. I,
Mm,
I've worked through it. I've been sober like 35 years.
good for you.
Yeah, It was either that or be under the ground. So, but that was part of my challenge. And then I went on, got educated, and went into nursing, and did something productive. I'm
Yeah.
always I'm always frustrated, not frustrated, but some people cannot work through that issue or cannot work through their life issues. But I think that's part of what we do when we're incarnated here into this life.
Yeah. Yeah. I always try to remember when I am feeling down and out, and why I also don't like when people just kind of sit in the dirt and cry
Mm.
is because you can move, you can do something about it, and you're not going to clear your karma, to stay on topic, unless you put one foot in front of the other. However that takes form. Don't worry. Don't think too hard. Just move forward.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Why some people are able to step up and some cannot, and I don't know why that is. A part of what I do is I try to encourage people that you can overcome almost all of life's problems. Some do,
Yeah.
some don't.
Yeah, I don't know what the show I was watching, but two aliens were talking to each other, and one said, "You fool! When you back humans into a corner, that's when they're most formidable."
Yeah.
And
Well,
you know what? Maybe that is our special charm of when you're down and out and you're beaten down at your worst. There's something inside all of us to fight through and to like really come out on top.
I'm gonna conclude this. I had a great interview with you. Are you doing a podcast? You got a great mic set up over there.
Yeah, me and a partner are trying to do a kind of conspiracy paranormal. We talk every week, and I'm doing my best to hone my craft and throw myself out there, see how many different people I can talk to.
You got a great voice. You got a really great voice. It'll go well for you. I hope. What's the name of your podcast?
The Conspiracy Wars.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, send me a link, and when I post this up, I'll post that up so you would get some viewers or listeners.
excellent. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak with you. I had a good time. You have
Uh,
a great setup yourself.
you have a great day, Kyle. Thanks for appearing on John's Tarot, and stay in touch. If anything else happens, I'd be interested to hear about it.
Most definitely.
All right. All right. Bye bye. Have a great day.
Bye bye.
That was my interview with Kyle B. from Hamilton, Ontario. An interesting guest, you know. And our background today is of the Vatican City, in memory of passing of the Pope, and a great loss to us all. So, it's a numinous place, a place of great spirituality and great power. I had the opportunity to visit the Vatican once, just a touristy thing, and I was really surprised and impressed. In regards to the things we just talked about, if you would like me to post a picture of my experience in the Peruvian Amazon, let me know, and I'll post it up on my webpage. Just send me leave me a little something on my YouTube, or send me an email and say, yeah, post it. And I'll go ahead and I'll post some pictures of that experience. Like I said, it was about 15 years ago. I would never do those things unless it was it was more of a cultural experimentation and a personal exploration. And it was very interesting. But today, we're going to ask a question. I was going to ask a question about the economy and El Presidente. You know who I mean. But I'm going to forego that. I mean, we could all pretty much expect to have some empty store shelves coming up for obvious reasons. And I'm just going to let that go. But what I want to know is since we're talking about karma, right? We're talking about karma. And how do we work through difficult karma? We're all born at this time with this karma. We are all born at this time. We requested to be born at this time to face these challenges. And there are going to be some difficult challenges. And what I said I would do with this podcast is help people work through these difficult times. So I am going to ask the tarot, how do we work through difficult karma? And there's all kinds of difficult karma to work through. Like I said, I had my own issues related to chemical dependency. The big thing is sometimes when you're working through difficult karma, is just to be calm, don't overreact, and see which way the universe points you to, see what doors open up, and then think about it. If you have somebody trusted you could talk to, a spouse or a close friend, you talk these things through. Don't make radical actions. Just sit and watch and wait for a way to appear to open up is one way. And I found that to be useful. And then I don't know about you guys, but as for me, I had a lot of karma to work through, so I got some experience with that. No sooner will one thing get worked through, you get a little rest, and the next thing will come up. And that's just how life is. You have an opportunity to work through your karma. So I'm going to ask the tarot. Let's shuffle the cards. My ability to read tarot is a gift, an expression of divine love. And I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. Let's gather the cards. Let's shuffle the cards. So, what does the tarot suggest? How do we work through difficult karma? How do we work through difficult karma? And I'll throw 3 cards on it, and then I'll throw 3 runes, and we'll wrap this up. How do we work through difficult karma? My first card is the 4 of Swords. My second card is the 3 of Swords. All very appropriate cards, especially when we're talking about working through difficult karma. 4 of Swords, well, it has to do with a guy laying on a sarcophagus with swords around him. And the 3 of Swords has 3 swords going through his heart. That connotates difficult times and challenges. And my last card is the 7 of Cups. All right. Let's throw some runes on there. Let's see what we get. Odin, Freya, please help guide this reading. How do we work through difficult karma? 4 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 7 of Cups. My first rune is meant as Iwas. My second rune for the 3 of Swords is Ingaz. I think that's how it's pronounced, or just Ing. And my final rune, Gabo. Put like that or like that. So 4 runes has to do with, you see somebody laying on a sarcophagus. He's passed away. Obviously, he's passed away, and it has to do with returning to the realm of your ancestors in order to ask questions or to contemplate the beginning. So you're having difficult karma. It's asking you to think back to your past, think back to how other people who have met a similar problem would have resolved it. That's where it comes useful to have somebody to talk to, especially if somebody who has overcome difficult situations, or if you have a therapist or a counselor, you could talk to them about it. But it's a time for reflection and thought, and why you devise a way through this difficult situation. And it also calls for waiting, just as I discussed earlier. You want to wait through it. And then the rune Iwaz has to do with, that's the horse. So you want to go, you don't want to do this. So yes, you got a problem. Yes, we all have problems. Well, certainly in this current political situation we find ourselves in, we got problems. However, you don't want to, you want to do this. We want to go through this with dignity. We want to go through this with grace. The rune Iwaz is like a horse. It's a noble beast. So you want to ride this noble beast to work through these problems with dignity and grace and courage. And that's one of the biggest things you want to do, especially when you're facing difficult karma. Because at the end of your life, you want to look back on your life and say, yeah, I faced this problem and I faced that problem, but I faced them with grace and courage and dignity. The Three of Swords. So you're having difficult karma, you're having problems. You see the Three of Swords, they're piercing a heart. It may require that you let go of a certain behavior or a certain belief or a certain possession, a certain relationship. It may be required that you let go of these types of things in order to move through this difficult situation, this difficult, heavy karma. If I use it to, let's say, refer this to what we're all currently going through, we all think that the economy should be this way. We all think it should be handled that way. Maybe we need to let go of how we think things should be, and instead accept how things are, and that'll be less painful for us all. And then the rune Ingwas, that has to do with once you let go of this thing that's holding you back, that's causing you pain, then that is the end of the beginning. That is that's how Churchill would phrase it. The end. This is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end. But perhaps this is the end of the beginning, and this will be the end of the beginning. The rune Iwaz refers to that, and that you are going to come out of this situation as a chrysalis phase. You're like you were a moth, and you were in a cocoon, and you're going to emerge as a new person, have new concepts and new ideas. And then the Seven of Cups, after you emerge, after you work through the problem, you're going to have several choices. And the Seven of Cups, you see all these choices. Whether these choices offered to you are fame, education, a number of choices, love, relationships. You have the opportunity, though, to make some choices. But remember, as you make these choices, that your gift of working through it was a gift. The rune is called Gabo. It was a gift. It was a gift of your higher power. It was a gift of this tarot reading. And there's always partnerships involved with gifts. That when you are given a gift, you're expected to give back in return. And this also has to do with thank your higher power that he has given you this gift, because you are in partnership with your higher power. And that's what allowed you to work through this. And that is how you work through heavy karma. That was a pretty good answer, too. So, until next week.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot!
Well, it was my pleasure. And next week, I hope to hear from some of you as we plan our next adventure together. I don't know what we're going to do next week. Somebody give me a call or send me a note, and we'll do an interview. And we'll get you on John's Tarot for next week. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind. Remember, have faith, have courage. And I will see you all again next week. All right, bye-bye.